Hello everyone, my name is Bruce Ellington and I'm the host of the Best of Los Angeles television show. And today we're coming to you from right here in Whittier, California with a very special guest. His name is Rob Marin and he is a prominent realtor here in, Los Angeles all over. And he's going to share a little bit about his business with you, kind of what makes his business so special and just his experience and maybe some good advice. Well, hello, Rob. How are you today?
I am good. How are you, Bruce?
All right. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and having us come here. Just this beautiful location as well.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Give me a little bit of history about how you got into real estate and kind of the services, of course, that you offer.
Well, for me, it was one thing I was always interested in. My mother sold real estate in the 90s, so I always talked to her about different deals she was working on and so forth. And for me, when it came time for a career change, it was just a natural fit. So I've jumped in and never looked back.
What do you think makes you and your business so spectacular and stand out?
I actually have that in common with my mom. She was a teacher for years, and my degree was in education. So for me, it's about educating the person, educating the process, what's the current market, what will we be looking at, and in that too, explaining a lot of the concepts. Sometimes it can just be the length of time we're looking at, it could be how the transaction works, and when is the best time to do whatever kind of move they're looking at. But also, I ask a lot of questions. I ask, what are your goals? Because it's not about me. It's definitely about what my clients' goals are.
Sure.
Including timelines, what are they wanting to do? And so I ask, what are they wanting to do? How soon do they want to move? What's their top goals that they're looking at? And then also I kind of listen for a little bit of the in-between stuff. Sometimes there's things I kind of pick up where there could be a family reason why they're wanting to move. There could be a family reason why they're wanting to purchase in the area. Mm-hmm. Any of those sort of things. Even timelines. Sometimes they're looking at wanting a shorter or longer timeline depending on life events. So I kind of listen for those things, what their wants are, what their needs are, and then from there, we'll help them get into their goals.
Do you have any advice? This is, kind of a tricky market. Share with the viewers, if you could, Rob, if you have any advice for someone, buying and selling in this wild, wild west.
One of the things I would say is national averages are great. You can look at national averages when it comes to days on market, how many things are available, what are buyers looking for, and so on. But it's always the local demographic market that is going to make a bigger difference. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, you can be on one part of LA and the days on market, the average can be 15 for that kind of a home. But you can be on another side of market and the days on average could be 62. It can just range. So somebody who's local and is plugged into that and knows that kind of information, that can really be helpful. And also people who are local too, they're the specialists because they kind of know what's going on in the city. They may know that a project is coming up that may benefit you or something that you'd rather not be around. For instance, when we had Inglewood all of a sudden explode because of SoFi. That was something a lot of us kind of knew was coming up ahead of time and we were preparing for that. So a local person is somebody who's plugged into that kind of information and can help guide and help somebody with that.
We're here in Whittier, and this is a wonderful location, a wonderful place. And this is just an example of some of the homes that you sell. But share with the viewers, if you could, kind of a radius or demographic that you tend to work with.
I'd love to. And in fact, this home is a perfect example of that. My niche is seniors. When you're working with seniors, there can be a vast difference of what you may be encountering.
Sure.
Sometimes it could be somebody's going through health issues, and so that plays into it. Sometimes you can have multiple family members and how we're going to coordinate things. And then you're also looking at, most of the time, people have lived in a home for 20, 30, 40 years, and it's like, well, how do you process that? You may need more patience, more resources. It may be a longer timeline that you're working with, a lot more hand-holding. In fact, a lot of seniors, they're not electronically savvy.
Right.
So I've had multiple clients where I have printed out all the contracts, all the reports, brought them to them, sometimes in a binder, put the areas on the pages that I wanted them to sign, but that way they can read everything over, and then the next day I will pick it up. Then I will literally scan every page so I can send documents in and get it handled. But that's some of the extra stuff that needs to be done with the senior market. And I really enjoy doing that.
This is staged wonderfully.
Thank you.
And yes, I was going to say, please elaborate on that you also do that as well. That's not, all realtors don't do that.
Yeah. I do run into some clients where, as we know, there's professional stagers out there. But sometimes some of my clients will talk about it and they would rather have me stage the home. So I will go ahead and do that. And I really enjoy doing that sort of thing because I get to kind of create and mold the home into something different, and something spectacular, and put the finishes on it and so forth.
Well, Rob, you have a wealth of information, great experience. You've been at this for now over 10 years. Is there anything you'd like to leave the viewers of Best of Los Angeles with as we close this segment?
Yeah, I'd be remiss too without mentioning that I'm very much involved in the community and love to give back to the community.
Okay.
So, one of my passions is every time I close an escrow, I donate to fight domestic violence. In fact, years ago, I started a fundraiser with some other people to do just that, to fight domestic violence. There's even a charity now, Bridge of Faith, where they take in women that are being phased out of the foster community, and they need somewhere to go, or they're coming from, unfortunately, a bad situation, and they're somebody that I support and donate. And I'd want people to know that if they're working with me, that I have a heart for that sort of thing. I'm really passionate about that. And I'd want to make an impact on people's lives. I have a loving and supporting husband that even when I started the fundraiser years ago, I told him I wanted to do this, and he was like, okay, let's do it. And I had support from day one. My mother showed up to every single fundraiser and has been a wonderful support. Her and I, like I said, we still talk shop all the time about real estate. I'm a dog person. I've got two, wonderful dogs, and I love talking about dogs. And we're also coffee and wine people.
Okay.
So anybody who is thinking about selling their home or wants to talk about any of those subjects, I'm available.
All right. Thank you so much again, Rob.
Thank you.
Having us come. Once again, be sure for all of your real estate needs, be sure and call Rob, no matter where it is in Metro Los Angeles. My name is Bruce Ellington. From all of us here at Best of Los Angeles Television Show, thank you so much for watching this segment, and have a great day.